Dolly Parton is one of country music's and America's most beloved artists. From an early age growing up in Tennessee, Dolly exhibited great talent, first as a singer, a guitar player, and later as a writer. As a young girl, she started to make appearances on radio and TV in nearby Knoxville, where she made a name for herself and had become somewhat of a local celebrity. By the age of 13, she'd made her initial appearance on the Grand Ole Opry, where she first met Johnny Cash, who was impressed by the young singer and told her to follow her own instincts. It was on her 18th birthday, after graduating high school, that she moved to Nashville to break into the business full-time. It wasn't long before her first big break came, when Porter Wagoner invited her to join him and his cast on his weekly syndicated television program, The Porter Wagoner Show. Wagoner had started his career in the 1950s with 2 number-1 country hits and a handful of top 10 charting records. Along with his flashy embroidered suits and blonde pompadour, Wagoner became one of country's most influential and successful performers throughout that decade. He would be known as Mr. Grand Ole Opry, and in 1961 he would start his popular weekly TV show. Porter had just lost his well-known and well-liked female singing partner, Norma Jean, and after hearing some of her songs she had written, he thought Dolly Parton might be a good replacement. It took a while for audiences to warm up to Dolly, since she had replaced the very popular singer, who had been with Wagoner's TV show for 6 years and had accumulated just over a dozen country hits during that time. But Dolly toughed it out, and her winning smile, bubbly personality, and honest performances of her songs finally won the hearts of Wagoner's fans. Soon he was inviting her to sing duets with him, and they recorded The Last Thing on My Mind, which reached the country top 10 in 1968. It was the beginning of a 6-year streak of virtually uninterrupted top 10 singles for Dolly and Porter. Audiences soon loved Dolly and forgot all about Norma Jean. But by the fall of 1973, Dolly had other ideas for her singing and music. Remembering Johnny Cash's advice to follow her own instincts regarding her career, Dolly let Porter Wagoner know she was going to leave his show and go out on her own. He was not one bit happy about that decision, and those around him said he was downright mad at Dolly. He assumed Parton hadn't appreciated his partnership and how he had helped to make her a fast-rising country music star. For 7 years, they'd reigned supreme as one of country's most popular duos. But he was wrong. Dolly knew she owed a lot to her mentor. She said on CMT in 2011, "There's a lot of grief and heartache there. He just wasn't listening to my reason for going. I thought, well, why don't you do what you do best? Why don't you just write a song?" So I went home, and out of a very emotional place in me at the time, I wrote the song. When she sang the new piece for Porter on his television show, Wagoner understood Parton's motives. He cried and agreed to part ways, but asked to produce Parton's first solo record, deeming that song, I Will Always Love You, the best song Dolly ever wrote. She recorded I Will Always Love You in March of 1974, leaving Wagoner's show in June that same year. Dolly had written the song about her honest appreciation to Porter for what he did to further her career, mentoring her along the way to make it possible for her to strike out on her own, and to finally understand her reason for going on without him. Of course, most of us had no idea of the original composer of the song to be Dolly Parton, or the true meaning behind the words when Whitney Houston turned it into a romantic ballad and smash hit for the 1992 film The Bodyguard with Kevin Costner. Only the true and faithful Dolly Parton fans remembered her premiering the song for Porter Wagoner in the early 1970s. But Dolly said no matter how much she loved Whitney's rendition of the song and how it fit into the movie and plot of the film, she also said it's still important to remember it is truly a song about the simple love of friendship. Today we know Dolly for her generosity as a philanthropist, as well as an entrepreneur and skilled businesswoman, in addition to being a movie actress, singer-songwriter, and an icon for women around the world. If you'd like to learn more about influential women in music like Dolly Parton, check out the course on the Rock and Roll Professor website. A link is provided in the description below. You can also hear the 1968 hit song, The Last Thing on My Mind with Porter Wagoner and Dolly Parton, making history in Nashville.